So here it is. California Extreme 2025. I am getting prepped and pumped for the Arcade and Pinball Mega Show, the West Coast Mega Show that happens annually in Santa Clara, California. I'm about to make my pilgrimage up north in just a few days. It's happening July 19th and 20th, 2025. So in a mere few days, I will be headed up. I'll be headed up with my friend Jason, who you may have seen on the channel. We do the Risk in the Park videos. If you've seen any of those, my good buddy, we'll be headed up for our third year in a row together. So that's sick. I think this is my 7th or 8th California Extreme, with taking a little pause there in the pandemic. They shut down for a bit, but now they're going back. They're back strong. This is such an amazing show. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it today. If you're going, if you're getting pumped up for it, tell me a little bit about your plans, whether you're joining live right now or else watching in the comments. I'd love to talk about it. Oh, it's such a fun thing to do every year. So yeah, it's happening in a few days. We're going to be leaving Saturday early morning, pre-dawn deployment, okay? Leaving at about 4 a.m. We want to get out of the city because it's about a 5.5, 6 hour drive. As you can see there, I have it mapped out below. And so the gates open at 10 a.m. Saturday for the people who are pre-registered, including us. So we get in an hour early before the general public that hasn't pre-registered. So that's nice. We want to be there front and center, playing, gaming from start to finish. All available hours for gaming. We want to stay as active as possible, okay? So that's the game plan. I'm buying snacks today. I've got a few errands to check off throughout the week to pack properly. But this will be the trip. And cruising across this stretch of landscape, making a 6 hour drive. Everyone comes here different ways. People come from all over the country, as you can imagine. It's a nice thing, though. I love this drive on the 5 through California. It's like a lot of farm country. You pass some weird industrial kind of factory or plants and stuff like that. And it's so cool to just cruise across this flat landscape, especially in the pre-dawn hours when you just see twinkling lights all through the valley and everything. So yeah, it's a really nice drive all through here. You can see it's a lot of farm country, and then there's a few little places. We usually don't stop at all. We try to just make it in one fell swoop, make the best time we can, You head all the way up on the 5, and usually we don't have to stop, and if we do make a pit stop, it's very quick, just 5 minutes in and out, And you head up here, and then you hop on the 152. We go through all this mountain range here, heading west. There's always a little fog in here, which I always like, cruising through the fog on the 152 before we hook up over here in Gilroy, which is the olive and garlic capital of the world or something like that. I don't know what the deal is, but it smells like garlic. You roll down the windows, blasting through there, you head due north, and it's not long before you're in beautiful Santa Clara, California. Look at this. It's at the very bottom tip of the San Francisco Bay, the beautiful Bay Area. So it's at the very southern tip. This is where Santa Clara is, and the hotel and event convention center where it's taking place is the Hyatt. And as you can see, it's right across, basically catty corner across from Levi Stadium, the San Francisco 49ers home stadium. And it's also just down the street from Great America Amusement Park, which you can see here. And this is awesome because they I always know this because they think of this park from the scenes in Beverly Hills Cop 3. They filmed a lot of Beverly Hills Cop 3 in this, including, like 10 is Enough or some other show I used to watch when I was a kid. So it's right down the street from there. So it's an awesome area. And this is where it's at, the Santa Clara Convention Center. It's in the Hyatt Hotel, and that's where we're staying, the Hyatt Hotel, stay there every single time. The arcade crowd takes it over. Everyone's lounging all about, drinking, carousing, talking, playing. Oh my God, it's just awesome times, eating together, So it's great vibes as the crowd just takes over, swarms. For anyone that hasn't been, we take over the whole hotel. They've got multiple rooms of gaming happening, as you can see in some of this B-roll. This B-roll I'm showing you now is from last year, some of the stuff I shot last year at 2024. And yeah, there's basically like Well, I can probably pull it up. What's up, Monster MJ, joining in the live chat. Thanks for being here. And we're talking California Extreme. It's coming up this weekend, so we're getting excited. Here you see the large room, okay? Ton of pinball and video games in here. I mean, it's massive. They have this convention center opened up, a lot of acreage, and almost this entire room is filled with games. You do have a small marketplace, a few vendors dotted around the perimeter and also in the center usually, but other than that, they just make like a maze-like corridor of paths of games and, sort of organized stuff. Obviously, pinball and certain eras are sort of organized together roughly and loosely. Sometimes it's by owner, because a bunch of people bring their personal collections here, as you can imagine. And then they've got this other side room, which is also really large. You know what? Why don't I wonder if I could pull up the map. I don't know if I have it ready right here, but basically, they've got this, like, you park back here. Yeah, you park here, you enter the facility here. Okay, so the large room is basically like this whole area here. Somewhere in here, it's like this huge area. And then they've got a side room, which I believe is this area here maybe, which is also quite large. Then they've got another side room with consoles, and then they've got two or three other side rooms with pinball machines for tournaments. And then the consoles and the marketplace are in the same sort of room, and they've also got a stage for live music. So it's just a friggin' unbelievably awesome setup. I always knew it was rad, but I only recently went to the last year for the first time ever. I went to the Pinball Expo out in Chicago, which is a huge worldwide, known show, and that was an excellent show. But it put also in context for me just how truly great California Extreme is when I was able to compare the two. The scale of this one is just beautiful. No allies joining me, Michael Smith, on this trip, unfortunately. I wish. Of course, I'm going to be doing a nice segment on the podcast, probably next week. Easy Allies podcast. I'll put something together, get up there, share a bunch of pictures and videos, and tell you about my experience. Here you're seeing some of the B-roll of the console room right in there. This is a Vectrex. My neighbor from across the street got one of those from his older brother when I was a kid. It was this archaic thing that had vector graphics that was all in one, the monitor and the console together. It was really sick, actually. It had a big collection of games. And that's the thing. You just get to play so much stuff here that you wouldn't ever have access to. Most of it's in beautiful shape, The history, just oddball stuff, custom one-of-a-kind stuff, you might have seen the Primal Rage 2 video I had regarding seeing that, kind of like proto machines that just don't exist anywhere else. So it's quite sick. We're getting prepped. We're getting pumped. Like I said, I got to do some shopping still. I got to get... I'm getting a lot of I'm trying to strategize and think what I need to get to survive. I don't have my big cooler. Unfortunately, I just lent it out to someone, so we only have a couple of small coolers. We're trying to get a lot of stuff that's for the most part, dry and ready to either microwave or something like that. So, oatmeals in cups, beef jerky, kind of like pre-made, those chicken salad snacks, applesauces, all kinds of stuff like that. And then obviously we'll eat a couple of hot meals while we're up there and all of that. But we're trying to strategize what to eat. Because the thing about it, when you're there at that hotel, the Hyatt, it's kind of no man's land in a lot of ways. The scale of everything is so big in this part of the city. Just across the street, one time I stayed over here at the Hilton. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes just to get across this crosswalk and over here to the entrance, just because everything's big and it's a lot of walking. So even the closest places, fast food places, they're not very walkable. I think there's a Taco Bell up here or something, Indian cuisine. There might be a Taco Bell up there too. Just to walk from here to here is like quite a long walk. You pretty much have to drive, and there's always events happening at the hotel. So, you know, in and out is complicated. So you want to try to stay as efficient as possible in the hotel, not have to leave for food, not have to waste a lot of time standing online for food. So that's why we're bringing a lot of snack type stuff. So if anyone has any suggestions for, you know, and we will have a fridge in the room. In previous years, we'd like, you know, hit up the grocery store right when we get into town and get some refrigerated stuff. We may do that this time, depending how early we get in. If we get in early, like I said, we want to maximize gaming time because there's so many games to play. You can literally be gaming nonstop and probably not try everything. You know, it's insane. 10 to 2:30 a.m. the first day. The second day, I think it goes like 10 to 9 p.m., which I'm actually happy about. Here you see a picture out the window from last year, I think, that's the southern portion of the bay out there. So that beautiful sunset sort of sun thing is up towards the bay right there, looking into the bay. So yeah, so you want to stay on scene. So you're gaming. One of the issues that we're kind of concerned with this year with Jason, he's going to be playing through with an injury, a little bit of an injury. He took a spill on his skateboard just last week, I think it was. Got a really gnarly road rash and it's kind of bruised up his arm pretty good, left arm. That wrist is somewhat operable. The hand only partially operable. But he's planning on going in here and just playing through like a hero. He's going to go in there. He's bringing up a fresh roll of tape to tape up that wrist if he has to. And he's just looking, he's going to be dealing with some pain, I'm sure, and discomfort. But he's going to be out there on the floor, max gaming. That's just the way it is, man. This event comes up. Whatever physical shape you're in, you got to be out there on the play floor, getting in as much time as you can. Philippe Gagnon from live chat suggesting protein bars and cashews. Excellent idea. Trail mix. Yes, I need to add that to my list. And protein bars. I don't think I have those yet. You know, protein bars I'm going to add them to the list right now. Thank you for that suggestion. Protein bars can be dangerous for me because sometimes I just start eating those like crazy and then I'll get kind of like a bellyache. So I got to be careful, but to mix into the whole thing, I'm going to put protein bars. I'll read you my list so you know what I'm planning on buying so far. A bag of mandarins. These little pre-boxed and canned chicken salads ready to eat with the crackers and the chicken salad. Microwavable cup of noodles. I'm not going to get too many of these because they usually make you feel sick, but there's the ones that you can just add water and actually microwave, you know? I'm going to get those ones. I'm going to maybe get some dry salami or something. Applesauce, Jell-O cups, trail mix, beef jerky, waters, oatmeal cups, and now protein bars. A lot of snack type stuff. I wish we had more meal type stuff. I think Jason said something about he's bringing some Velveeta shells and cheese or something, which should be okay. I may have to tread a little lightly on those, you know. I really got to just be careful what I'm eating, but you know, and obviously then they have some cool places. You know, they have a couple of sit-down restaurants, but you can order stuff to go and everything. But then, like I said, just because of the crowds, multiple events happening at the hotel simultaneously. I don't know what the other event is this year. Last year it was some kind of knitting convention, so it was an interesting mix of crowds. But there's a lot of people looking for a lot of food. So, yeah. We're going to be excited. There's pizza you can kind of grab, but yeah, still trying to figure out the food situation 100%, but I'm going to go a little later today to stock up. And what else do we need to bring? What else are we bringing? What are you planning on bringing? What do you bring when you go to one of these shows? You know, I'll tell you some of the other things we're bringing. We're bringing a PS5. We're bringing a PS5 so we can do some gaming in the room. I think it was last year. Gosh, it was seen so long ago. Such jolly vibes. Mortal Kombat 1 was just in like, I think they had a pre-alpha, they had some kind of early release. Maybe it was for the people that pre-ordered, but no, it was an early demo they released. That's what it was. It was some kind of Mortal Kombat 1 demo. And so during that same weekend it dropped, that we were at California Extreme, we had our PS5 in the room. So every time we were off the show floor, we're just playing like those same, they only let you play like two characters, I think, in one stage in Mortal Kombat 1, just running that thing, man. It was such good vibes, jolly vibes. So it's always nice to have some gaming in the room. So we're bringing the PS5, we're bringing the Switch, obviously. I was going to bring the Switch 2, but I'm going to leave it with my kids since I'm out of town over the weekend. They're loving Mario Kart 2 or whatever, World. So I gotta leave that for them. So they have something to do. But we're bringing my Switch, which is loaded up with most of the stuff Jason and I would be playing anyway. And he's bringing his PS5. What else? My arcade measurements. I'm bringing, I took photos, I got to take a photo. This is just a reminder list of the schematics of my arcade, all the dimensions. This machine right here. Yeah. wait, there it is. Yeah, this machine back here, I got all the dimensions on it because it's my big boy. As you can see, it's a big machine, but I'm always looking for like a new marquee, some new side art I can swap on, some new front art. Right now, the whole thing's pretty much bare except for the marquee, so it's got a lot of room to add art. So I'm always looking for something. So I've got all the little nooks and crannies measured out so I can hopefully find some stuff. One of the things over the years with this show that's kind of declined is you don't get it. You see less like actual parts for sale, less like actual art, and this and that. It's more like knickknacks and trinkets and little doodads and like more touristy souvenir type stuff, pins and stickers and shirts and whatever, banner, not necessarily arcade equipment compared to in the past. When I first started going to the show, I remember there's a lot of that stuff. You could get the play fields and boards and marquees and art and all kinds of stuff. That's really shrinking because it's just that stuff doesn't sell as much as the other trinkets. The trinkets anyone can buy because this show is open to the public. So you get families in there, you get all kinds of people just coming off the street. So it's awesome. It's great vibes, but you also get hardcore arcade people or pinball people that are looking for, to get some equipment. Oh, look at this. This is the Godzilla machine from last year. So that's one of the things we're strategizing. One of the things going into this thing, and on the ride up, we're going to do some of this. We really got to strategize. What are we going to be looking for first? What are we trying to hit right out of the gates? And one of the things was like that Godzilla machine you just saw, very complicated mechanical with big moving parts pinball machines. We want to hit early because like last year when those things go down, you've got teams of repair dudes just crawling across the show floor, constantly repairing machines. It's so awesome to see them, just always getting these machines back running again as soon as they go down. But sometimes, for whatever reason, they don't bring them back up. And like last year, Godzilla, this really cool, pinball with just like this huge Godzilla puppet sprawled across the playfield. It went down early and it stayed down day after day after day. I kept circling past that thing, man. It never came back up, so I never got to try it last year. So this year, we're going to be looking for those kind of things and just, some of the pinball stuff, like you saw earlier, there was some B-roll of Elton John. These really gaudy, fancy, premium, top-of-the-line machines, sometimes brand new machines. Hit some of those sometimes because after that early hours in day one, other than the odd hours, even in the middle of the night, they've got a line on them, man. You got to wait. It gets 4, 5, 6, 7 people deep sometimes on some of these popular machines. So you're waiting for a little bit. You're definitely waiting. There's my beautiful bride of Pinbot. She'll be there. Hopefully, she's always got a line there. Look at her. There she is. You've always got about 2 or 3 people trying to transform her. Oh my goodness. She started to transform right there. The hypnotic powers of the bride of Pinbot. Look at this. This was an awesome machine Jason and I found. We're playing against each other. The pinballs travel from one side of the table to the other. This is actually Joust, the pinball machine. Godfather 50, here's one of those really gaudy machines that has a big line on it, so you better get on this sucker and get on it early if you want to get some good time in over the weekend with it, because there's always some people looking, and a lot of them are for sale. Look at that price tag up there, $11,500. I should have mentioned, if you haven't been to the show, obviously all the games are on free play, so you buy the day pass or the weekend pass in our case, and you're just playing, man. You're gaming nonstop. So that's what I'm talking about with Jason needing that to tape up that wrist, man, and play through it. Look at this. Last year we did a full playthrough together of the Japanese version of the Punisher beat 'em up. That's what that little brief clip of that. This is a whole hodgepodge of footage, as you can see here. Stern Pinball always has a massive footprint on the show floor, so they're kind of cool because they bring so many machines, even their new stuff you can usually play. But then here was this sort of Stern specialty section where they're really fancy machines. That one you got to wait for. Oh, what was the name of this one? Was this that Blue Dolphin? I think it was called Blue Dolphin, like an unreleased Japanese arcade game that was planned to be released for the Dreamcast, never came out in the US. There we got a chance to do a full playthrough on that. So many games you get to just sit down, play, that you may never get a chance for again. It is beautiful and amazing. So yeah, we're a few days away. I'm going to be recording stuff while I'm up there, like I said, because I'll be probably putting up some shorts and maybe some other videos maybe on here, because we're not just going to have a glut of Dawn content coming on Easy Allies. But on Easy Allies, of course, I'm also going to prepare some nice stuff for the podcast and stuff like that, etc. So I will be recording some stuff up there. Not sure if I'll do any live stuff. I may do some brief little live check-ins here and there just for fun if I can. I'm not sure. But I'll definitely be capturing some stuff. But, you know, the primary goal is always playing and enjoying and just absorbing all this stuff that you usually don't get to absorb. This footage didn't get to get rotated. Oh, there Jason was playing this enormous Superman machine, which is like a really large machine. Oversized. Last year they had the entire like Atari pinball collection, which was all from the late 70s. They're very rare and hard to find, all in really nice working order. That was a great history lesson. And of course they have guest speakers. Oh, the music. You know, there's always this year's lineup of guest speakers. I don't know if the whole thing, I looked over it. There's that Blue Dolphin game that's just 2-player kind of shoot 'em up. Awesome. Oh yeah, and that has sort of 3D objects mixed in too, enemies and whatnot. So cool. So yeah, what else? We got to be ready for the oh, and look at this. This is the iRobot game, which is being remade right now, but this is it, the real console game, like the very first Polygon game in the arcade. Big influence on Star Fox. Now here you're seeing something else, some other vector racing game. Oh my god, just so much cool stuff to play. Slightly pumped. Yeah, so what else do we look at this? There's some like, what game was this? Look at that. There's like some little like cabaret stripper in a tube. That Big Bang Bar, another rare pinball. Here's that Elton John. Just a pricey machine, man. This one, I don't know if it was for sale, but you can guarantee this was somewhere around 12 to 15 G's, I bet. 11.5. They have it for 11.5. The prices on stuff. If I had more room and a little more free cash, last year I saw Terminator 2 for sale to the very end. It didn't get bought till the very end. It was beautiful with red and blue custom LED lighting. It looked so nice, and it wasn't that bad of a price. I forget what it was, a few G's. Really good price for a Terminator 2. But I don't have the capacity for a pinball machine at this time. It takes up a lot of room, and also just more than that, you know, don't want to burn through a few G's right now. You got to have some serious discretionary funds. But yeah, anyways, that's what it is. We're going to get packed. We're going to get the rental car. We're going to leave early morning, get to the show before 10 a.m. And there it is. Here you see a big shot of the show floor in the big room. And we're going to be having some fun. So check it out. I'm looking forward to sharing some of my adventures with y'all. And like I said, leave some comments below if once I post this, if you are planning on going to the show or just have any questions or, you know, things to share about your own experiences at any of these arcade conventions. California Extreme, I absolutely love it. It's my first and favorite. So I always like to go back. Got to pack all the old t-shirts, you know, everyone wears their old t-shirts from past shows. And then it gives you some street cred, because then when the people come in with the t-shirts that are wearing, you know, the shoulders are coming through with the mothballed a few decades. These guys have been coming to the show for, you know, 20 years or something, you know. So yeah, you bring all your old shirts from the shows past, and you see people walking around. There's just awesome camaraderie here and good vibes. So yep, that's it, babies. Thanks for joining. I think that's about it. Like I said, maybe I'll be updating a little bit from the road, perhaps, but I'll definitely be posting up some cool stuff I come across at the show. I'm getting so pumped. We're only about T-minus 3 days till liftoff as I record this. Okay, so anyway, thanks for joining me live if you did. And And I will look forward to sharing some of this rad stuff from California Extreme 2025 coming up soon. Okay, everyone? Peace out.